Raincoat for sure. Maybe get one of those dual layer raincoats where you can take off the outer layer, so that when it does get cold, you'll have a warm layer, and then you'll also have a wet-proof layer. So that will keep you warm and that will keep you dry. I went with a raincoat and then put a sweater underneath because I couldn't find one. Went to Marshall's and everywhere. But that will be important. Wear tights, even if you don't like them. They will be necessary on some cold days. Your shoes. I got some really, really good shoes that had about this much tracked. And by the middle of my mission, they were gone. But, and after that, Brazilian shoes aren't that durable. So if you ever buy them there, try to get like cheap flats to replace your old ones. I ended up just getting cheap flats after cheap flats after cheap flats because there won't be ones that will endure half the mission like the American ones I bought here. So yeah, just get those. Clothes swap with your sisters. You're gonna get sick of your clothing wearing it the whole mission, so you can always switch with that. But don't pack too much either because, you know, you'll be moving around and it's the worst in transfers to carry around 2 suitcases. Just carry around one, get your necessities in it. You want waterproof shoes also. They have some shoes that are plastic but that are like good. If you find those and they're cheap, you should get them because there's going to be some days where you're going to be walking in the rain the whole day. And then if you don't have those waterproof shoes, it'd be like, and then your feet just get really raw. So if you get plastic ones, the water comes right off and you can wear them the next day. Get a strong umbrella from the United States. They say that they're better there in Brazil, but they break easy. And if you do get a replacement, just go to like a hand-me-down store and get a $10 one because they'll break easily because of the wind there, and they'll just flip and then you'll be done. Just be resourceful. I had a hole in my shoe for about 2 months, but I put duct tape over it every other 3 days. I know that's probably not good, but if you don't have the money, just get some duct tape. It works just fine. Because you'll want to save some money there for bus rides, and if you ever have to, I don't know, go somewhere, buy something for an investigator or something like that. It's always good to save money. I got my call when I was in Minnesota, and so we just went to Marshall's, we went to Bloomington Coat Factory, we went to hand-me-down stores. A few people from my ward gave me some stuff like, oh, this will be a good sister skirt. You'll hear that. Where it's just like the ones you can just slip on. Oh, I love those because you just slip them on and they're comfortable because you're going to be walking around the whole day. And ones that are good for weekly planning days too that you just slip on. Yeah, just get, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. And the more humble you look, I think the easier it is for them to let you in. But also look good. That's what our mission president always say.
So what to bring? In Sao Paulo, it rains a lot. Pretty humid climate. So, you know, if you're from kind of a drier climate like Intermountain West, you may not be used to that kind of humidity, especially at that heat. Aching, I mean, sometimes it was 110 degrees, you know, 80, 70% humidity, and you are just sweating like huge droplets, you know, your shirt's soaked in sweat, you know. So that's something, you know, that you just, you have to realize that that's the climate you're going into. Definitely pack lots of short sleeve shirts. Or for ladies, you know, whatever the equivalent of that is. But you know, as far as like a long sleeve shirt, like long sleeve white shirt, I only I think I brought like 3 or something, but I only ended up using 1. Like I just left the other 2. I think I gave them to members or something because you just don't use a long shirt enough. Like most of the times I would use a long sleeve shirt for zone conferences, and sometimes in the winter. sometimes. I mean, but like, even when you're wearing your suit to church, it would be still a short sleeve, Um, that's another thing, is that suits, you don't really wear them that often. You normally just Sunday for church and for, training meetings and stuff like that. But district meetings or just, normal day-to-day work, you don't need to wear a suit. So I could say you could probably get by on one suit, honestly. If you want to bring one suit and then another for like really nice occasions, you can. But what I found is that one suit's fine. So yeah, lots of short sleeve shirts. It would be a good idea to bring some good quality pants that won't that'll last lots of friction, lots of you're going to get dust in your pants, stuff like that. So they need to be machine washable. There's a lot of roads. I mean, even in Sao Paulo, the largest city in Brazil, there are still dirt roads, in some parts. And so, especially in the favelas and such. And so, plan on your clothes getting dirty and they need to be washed, So bring stuff that can be worn out. Shoes, you're going to wear out your shoes. I was curious, so I asked my mom to send me a pedometer once so I could clock how many miles I was walking a week, because our mission was just walking, no bikes and no cars. If you're in the downtown part, you might use the metro once in a while, but that's pricey. It's easier to walk a lot of times or take the bus. And even the bus is expensive. When you're a missionary, you got a missionary budget. So you're walking a lot. I was walking 50 miles a week in one of my areas with that pedometer, measuring it. So you want to get really good quality shoes. As far as you want to get an umbrella, I use an umbrella all the time and normally had an umbrella on me. And that's just, it's just so much more pleasant than having like a raincoat. Because a raincoat, because it's so humid, you're just like sweating in that raincoat, and it's just like terrible. And it's just easier to just have that open air, just use an umbrella. When it rains, it normally pours and then it stops within an hour. So that way, you have an umbrella for when you need it, and when you don't need it, you can still go around, you don't have this big wet jacket to worry about. Trying to think if there's any other good tips on what to bring. Electronics are very expensive in Brazil. So if you bring nice speakers or a iPod Touch or something like that, I don't think iPhones are allowed just because you can call. But if you bring like an iPod Touch or something like that, it may be stolen just because they're very nice and they're expensive down there. Electronics are usually double or triple the cost of what they are here, adjusted for the currency, the real. So because of that, I love music. So I had like a really cheapo CD player and some cheapo speakers, and I would have the members burn like LDS hymns in Portuguese for me, or EFY CDs, stuff like that. And that's the easiest way, honestly, because if you have an iPod or something, you need a computer to sync to, and you don't have a computer on your mission. All you have are internet cafes once a week, and so you can't sync. You can't sync your music, so you end up having the same playlist for 2 years, and that gets way old really fast. So the easiest way is just go with CDs, honestly. Go with a really cheapo CD player, something that, $20 at Walmart or something, and you're good. Same thing with cameras. Don't bring a really nice camera. Just bring a functional point and click digital camera. It's fine. Another thing is you probably want to back up the photos that you take. I knew a couple missionaries that they had all their their whole mission's photos on these, these SD cards, and then like the last transfer, a guy steals their camera, or they lose their SD card or something, and they just lost their whole mission's memories. So definitely back that up with like, it can just be like a flash drive or something, something really easy that in an internet cafe, in a public computer, you can just easily back up your photos. It's, because you want to keep those memories, the baptisms, the people you met, the companions you served with. Yeah, you want to keep that. So.